Ladies and gentlemen, it's the world's wokest warrior, primitive-sided, toxic fanboy aligned with the like-minded, Tony Tone Deaf rockin' with you. I wanna welcome one and all to the Clown World Review. We are a new channel, so don't forget to like, subscribe, tell a friend, share this video, Twitter, Facebook, get the word out, help us grow together. And why? Because it's finally here, the finale of the first season of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. We made it, ladies and gentlemen. And as a quick recap, the first episode of the Ninja Turtles, they rescue and meet April O'Neil from the Foot Clan, and then they go to investigate, end up finding Ninja Pizza, which leads to Splinter's arch nemesis, Oroku Saki. They realize he's alive and well in New York and now running a corrupted version of the Foot Clan. Episode 2 introduced us to Krang, who gives Shredder the idea to mutate Bebop and Rocksteady and lure the Turtles to the Technodrome by abducting Splinter, but the plan would quickly fall apart as Bebop and Rocksteady, you can't fix stupid. Episode 3, we meet Baxter Stockman, and he was hired by the Shredder for his Mouser technology. Shredder had a good plan in this episode, but it was foiled when he refused to keep his promise to Krang to build Krang a body, so Krang would backstab him by releasing Michelangelo from a precarious situation and informing Michelangelo of the master control to the Mousers, which were getting ready to eat Leonardo, Donatello, Raphael, April, and Master Splinter. About 1,200 of those Mousers too, so Krang really put a wrench in Shredder's plan here and kind of forced his hand. Episode 4, we see Shredder attempt to pull advanced alien weaponry from Dimension X through Krang's objections. But instead, a group of neutrinos come out, followed by 2 of Krang's stone warriors. We learn in this episode that Krang has massive armies in Dimension X, and they're waiting to conquer Earth. And the neutrinos are the rebellion against them. They just want to have fun, and the adults are too busy fighting wars and think fun gets in the way. It's Twitter. I'm just gonna say it, it's Twitter. After a blizzard in July, the Turtles send the Stone Warriors back through the transdimensional portal, followed by their neutrino friends. This episode ends with a frustrated Shredder promising Krang his new body. And now, here we are, the 5th and final episode of Season 1 of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. This episode is entitled Shreddered and Splintered and is written by David Weiss and Patty Howitt. The season finale begins with news reports stating that the city is reeling from the events of the past week, and there are witness claims of 4 turtles being spotted at the location of some of the chaos. Leonardo mentions he can wait no longer and wants to put the Shredder away, which Master Splinter actually agrees. Raphael mentions that April will need to tell the world about the turtles and to keep the lame-brain humans from intervening. Donatello gives April a turtle communicator so she can find the turtles when she gets her news crew together, and gives her the turtle van since they'll be using the neutrinos hot rod that they had left behind in the last episode. Soon after April leaves, Shredder hijacks the turtles' television to show them a retro mutagen ray generator, a device that undoes mutations such as reverting Splinter to his human form. Shredder taunts the protagonist to come and get it and ends the broadcast. The turtles want to get the ray gun for their sensei immediately, but Splinter warns the turtles would be reverted back to their original forms as well, so this is a task that Splinter must perform alone. In the Technodrome, Shredder orders Bebop and Rocksteady to find and destroy the turtles who Shredder is now expecting. Back with the good guys, the neutrinos' hot rod runs out of fuel, which runs off plutonium, but they need the weapons from the hot rod for their encounter with Krang and Shredder later on. Donatello mentions seeing something at Baxter's workshop and tells the guys he'll meet up with them at the Technodrome. Not long after Donatello is out of sight, Bebop and Rocksteady surprise the protags by sneaking up behind them and tossing them around a little bit. Raphael, Leonardo, Michelangelo, and Splinter battle their foes in the middle of the street, but Bebop and Rocksteady are physically dominant. The Turtles then devise a plan that leaves the baddies looking like Lena Dunham going for a jog. At Baxter's lab, Donatello searches for the item he claimed to see earlier, but the scene quickly changes to Shredder introducing Krang to his body in the Technodrome. Krang wants Shredder to add a molecular amplification unit in order to battle the turtles. As Shredder brings Krang's body to life, the turtles arrive outside of the Technodrome, but Shredder sends in his foot soldiers to slow the turtles from entering the compound. The turtles flood this shit out of the foot soldiers as Splinter takes off to find Shredder and obtain the anti-mutagen ray. At Channel 6 News, April tells Dickhead that she knows the turtles, and Dickhead threatens to call the police before April threatens Dickhead with the turtle communicator and demands a news crew to cover the turtle story. The Dick abides. In the Technodrome, Krang awakens in his body and cuts himself loose and mentions he must contact his troops in Dimension X. We cut to another area of the Technodrome where Michelangelo, Leonardo, and Raphael are racing through in their search for Master Splinter. They find a surveillance area to track down their sensei, but when they focus in, they're a bit thrown off by Krang in his new body, preparing the portal for activation. Back with April, Dickhead takes back his word and chases April and the news crew with some punk-ass 2.5s. April and the crew escape from Dickhead and the two testicles in the turtle van. The scene transitions to Splinter preparing to take the anti-mutagen ray, but it's obviously a trap. Shredder flicks on the lights, and he's using an optical illusion, but stupidly gives away his position. He sneaks up right behind Splinter and says, "I could be anywhere, even right behind you," so Splinter obviously knocks him on his ass. Shredder refers to this as a lucky shot, but evidence says Shredder's a moron. Then the two square off after Shredder eventually gets on his feet. Back with Krang, the Brain contacts his stone warriors and puts them on standby as he prepares to open the portal, but Leonardo, Raphael, and Michelangelo arrive just in time. Krang's body grows to a 25-foot monstrosity and chases the turtles out of the Technodrome, where he grows into an even larger size, almost the height of the Technodrome itself. He then punches the cave roof and climbs up to the city above. Now, we switch back to Donatello, and apparently his plan is a blimp, and then we switch back to the interesting storyline, Storyline A, where Krang is kicking a racist building's ass and it rules. The scenes quickly cut between April and the crew in the turtle van rushing to Krang, and the Shredder and Master Splinter dueling for the anti-mutagen ray, and then back to Krang getting ready to squash the turtles like a bug. Donatello arrives just in time in the turtle blimp and smokes Krang in the middle of the street. Def Jam: "You need to sign this Brain to a 4-album deal. Maybe get him in a hype beef with Destro's Scottish ass." Donnie throws a rope down for his brothers to climb, and they continue to shoot the oversized Krang with lasers, but to little effect. Raphael flies the piece of the blimp that detaches from the blimp piece itself, I think. I'm not an expert in blimps, so I don't know what you want from me. I'm not gonna take a course in blimps because A, they're racist, and the Ninja Turtles was made in a time before white males understood that, and B, they stole the 2020 election. Leonardo and Donatello jump down to Krang's enormous shoulders. Donatello deduces that something in Krang's body is allowing him to manipulate his molecules. They end up finding the molecular amplification unit, and Leonardo starts cutting at it with his katana, but to little effect. The scene switches back to Master Splinter and Shredder, where Splinter begins to get emotional in his fighting and tells his nemesis that he's corrupted Splinter's teachings and he's brought dishonor upon the once noble Foot clan. And you can tell this really, Splinter's heartbroken, you know? His student took his teachings, his legacy, and he completely twisted it and reverted it into just something ugly. So now we're back with Raphael and Michelangelo flying around in that blimp piece, and Krang catches it in his hand and begins to crush them, and we go back to Leonardo struggling to damage the molecular unit inside of Krang's body. That's when Donatello says they're out of time. He whips out his bow staff and kind of just shoves it right at the unit, shatters it, and the brain starts to go down to his normal size. Donatello and Leonardo are able to escape. The turtles and Krang square off briefly, but Krang calls for Shredder's help. Shredder traps Splinter in some type of electrified cage, and then he takes the anti-mutagen ray and heads toward Krang and the turtles. So as soon as the Shredder takes off, Splinter is able to loosen a screw out of the floor with his nail, and he darts it at the generator that's creating the cage, and it destroys it, so Splinter's now right on Shredder's ass, who's arriving to the confrontation between Krang and the Turtles, and he takes aim at the Turtles with the ray gun.
Well, gang, looks like it's back to the old pet shop for us.
Far from it. Tonight I dine on turtle soup.
Splinter arrives just in time and destroys the anti-mutagen ray, causing Shredder and Krang to retreat back to the Technodrome, but the Turtles follow them down to stop them from opening the portal and bringing the Stone Warriors through. Back at the Technodrome, the Turtles arrive just as the Stone Warriors are beginning to march through the gates, but Donatello reverses the polarity of the portal, causing the Technodrome to pull itself into Dimension X after the bad guys escape. The Turtles lament over the fact that Splinter may have lost his only chance to be human, but Splinter says the sacrifice is worth it as long as he was able to save his sons. In Dimension X, Krang is gleeful to conquer his home while Shredder cries that he wants to conquer Earth. They get into a bit of a dispute, and Krang says that in his dimension, Shredder will take orders from Krang. Back in the sewer, the good guys watch April's report on them, including mixed reactions from the public. Splinter mentions he fears they may not have seen the last of Shredder or Krang as the gang sit down to watch the sci-fi movie of the night, The Evil Brain from Dimension X. And that, my friends, is the end of Season 1 of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. What a great end to a great season. This 5th episode was fun to watch, and my favorite out of the season. I enjoyed the pilot episode, but it lagged a little bit in that late 2nd to 3rd act, and I don't think the initial face-off between Shredder and the Turtles through the surveillance monitors, I don't think it had the impact that they were hoping for. My least favorite episode would probably be Hot Rodding Teenagers from Dimension X, Episode 4. I kinda don't see the point to the episode. Other than the Turtles figuring out Krang's plan, he had armies in Dimension X, they wanted to conquer the Earth, but I feel like they could have found another way to convey that message, another vehicle to tell it through. The neutrinos are okay, maybe they just didn't age well. They were the bad part of the 1980s. I remember this episode as a kid, too. I don't remember what I thought of it, just, it was an episode of the Ninja Turtles, but I don't know. The neutrinos are just kinda lame. And with that being said, that is Season 1 of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I want to thank you sincerely for watching these reviews. It's been fun to catch up with the Ninja Turtles, and I do plan on reviewing Season 2. We're going to take a little bit of a break. We're going to continue with the Legend of Zelda animated series, and I've got another series coming up soon that I'll be reviewing too here in the next week or two. So stay tuned. Again, please like, share, subscribe, tell a friend, hit that notification bell, do what you gotta do. But we're gonna grow the movement. Non-soy reviews, completely based, and we just hate political agendas in our entertainment, right? That's the Clown World Review. Welcome.